Alright, what is up? We are back today with Kenobi episode 4 review, kind of just going over it. I saw it Wednesday when I got off of work, and I haven't, I watch these things like one time and then I just go on doing a million other things. So I haven't rewatched it or anything. I've written down some notes, but it's not really that extensive. What we're gonna do, I think what I'm gonna do for the last 2 episodes is kind of how I started it out. I'm gonna do the last 2 episodes in one giant, like, put together review, because it's just, I don't know, for some reason, episode 4 was like, So anyway, let's jump into it, okay? Got my notes here. Obi-Wan is taken to Jabin and put in a bacta tank. They show this cool scene showing Obi-Wan and Vader both in bacta tanks. So, Star Wars is poetry. We want things to rhyme visually and thematically throughout, Star Wars. And that was kind of cool, seeing Vader, he's in the bacta tank. He obviously has much more severe injuries. He's lost all of his limbs at this point, and he's burned all over his body. And we see Obi-Wan is just burned on his right side, an injury given to him by Vader on Mapuzo. So it was just, that was a cool scene. A little bit of back and forth between that. Obi-Wan wakes up. I think they were having visions in the tank. I didn't really pay attention. I mean, I seen it when it happened, but like I said, it's days past it. Obi-Wan wakes up, he asks, where's Leia, right? We go to Leia. She's being held at Fortress Inquisitorius, and Reba is trying to get information out of her. She says, Leia's like, I'm a princess. Reba's like, the Empire doesn't take kindly to Jedi sympathizers, right? She's trying to get information out of Leia. Leia says that she's not going to talk. Just fast forwarding, because I don't want to do this. Fast forward, we go to Obi-Wan. He's out of the bacta tank, and I believe, let me confirm this. I believe this is Ice Cube's son, O'Shea. I think his name is like O'Shea Jackson. Let me just confirm real quick, because I remember he's the oldest son of Ice Cube. Yeah, I remember he played it, I think it was Straight Outta Compton, right? Anyway, we go to Talia is like trying to get his help. Obi-Wan asks Ice Cube's help for getting Leia back. Ice Cube doesn't seem interested. And this scene was kind of like, when I was watching it, I was just like, because just the acting, it really took less than nothing to convince this guy to help out Obi-Wan. And it just seemed, the acting wasn't really there for me, Like, I applaud anybody who gets in front of a camera and they go out there and act, it's not easy. But to me, I just wasn't really sold. I don't know how anybody else felt about that scene, but I don't know if it was the writing or the acting or what it was, but that scene kind of just was like, oh man, I'm not gonna help you, and I know what the Empire can do. They did it to my wife. I'm gonna help you. But then it was so quick, and there was no conviction there for me. But it could have just been poor writing. Anyway, moving on, they're gonna sneak into the Inquisitor base, right? And it's that's another thing I was saying about poetry. It's funny how Star Wars always has the right person to like sneak into some heavily guarded facility, A New Hope, a lot of like Rebels and Clone Wars stuff. What was that? What was the one with Jyn Erso? I cannot think of the movie right now. Rogue One. Like, Star Wars always has just the right people at the right time to sneak into some heavily guarded place with like hundreds of thousands of troopers, and like they just sneak past, and it's just so yeah, they get there anyway, right? And I think Obi-Wan was like practicing with the Force. His connection to the Force is still weak. And what was funny about this, um, is that I found it funny that Obi-Wan snuck into this fortress of the Empire with full Jedi garb on. There was no attempt to like get another outfit or another look, you know, even take a stormtrooper's armor. But when I thought about it afterwards, it was the poetry again, because you remember in A New Hope, Obi-Wan sneaks into the Death Star to take out the tractor beam. And he's full Jedi garbed up, you know. He's even using some of his abilities to get the stormtroopers to go in different directions. So this made sense afterwards. It's like they want to keep that consistency. It's like, why would he switch his outfit here and then in A New Hope change it up and like just go full Jedi garb? So it made sense afterwards, but I just found that kind of funny. I say Reba was trying to read Leia's mind, and she didn't really get anywhere because Leia is obviously strong with the Force. We go on. Talia. So yeah, Obi-Wan was talking to Talia through one of those communicators. One of the guards came up. That was another funny scene. Talia walks in there, and she's trying to get down to, you remember that big red metal detector? She walks there, and she's trying to get access so she can help Obi-Wan sneak in. And, you know, they're all like, you know, you're not supposed to be here and all this stuff. And they're on to her, and then she's like, oh, you talking to me? I'm just like paraphrasing, because like I watched this a couple of days ago. She's like, I'm your superior. I got classified. He's like, oh, you know, go right ahead, you know. So that's funny. And she's in there talking to him. Another guy comes up. You're not supposed to be in here. Come with me. And then they go in the back, and she chokes him out. It's just funny. Like I like the playfulness. Like obviously there's a playfulness to Star Wars. There's a very serious, dark undertone to Star Wars, but there's also this playfulness and this joyfulness to it, you know, and it's like you obviously need these characters to be successful in what they're doing. But sometimes I just feel like that you could have put a little more effort into how these things are done. But anyway, moving on. Says Obi-Wan uses the Force. Why did I write that? Obi-Wan uses the Force. Oh yeah, because two stormtroopers were coming down the hall. He goes up into the side of the wall, and he's hiding, and he uses the Force to make a noise to get them to walk off to that direction. Another poetry-like scene. And then I say Obi-Wan finds dead Jedi in case. There was a scene where Obi-Wan goes into like this kind of like hallway, and there's all these like it kind of reminds me of like Toy Story, Buzz Lightyear, when he's in all the packaging, but it's like this kind of like yellowish, bronzy, orangey kind of fluid, and there's dead Jedi all within these encasings. Not surprised, you know, that's kind of one of the darker undertones of Star Wars, you know. They collect artifacts. You know, you remember General Grievous collect lightsabers. The Sith collect a lot of artifacts, so obviously the Jedi would be, the Jedi themselves would be artifacts depending on what they're planning to do behind the scenes with that. So there we go. She's fed up with Leia, and she's like going to take her to the little torture joint. Gonna take her to the little. She puts on the torture thing. Well, there's two stormtroopers take her. They put on the torture thing, and Obi-Wan tells Tala he needs a distraction. At this point, I remember she gets Reva to come down to talk to her, and she's like making up a planet that they're on, right? And Reba's like, this just happened to be on your planet, and I do like a good liar and all that stuff. They're kind of going back and forth, right? And then as this is happening, Obi-Wan goes into the room with the two stormtroopers and Leia, and there's a scene where the lights go out, and Obi-Wan's like, he kills one of the stormtroopers on the right, our left, or the right of behind. In the dark with the lightsaber, he disappears. The stormtrooper's looking for him, and he comes out. To me, that was visually, it was cool, but it was like, okay, stormtroopers don't have flashlights on their helmets or guns. It just felt a little like, it felt almost like it was done just for the sake of how cool it looked. But anyway, moving on. Obi-Wan gets Leia out of the thing. They're sneaking through the hallways, and I believe they got caught by one of the droids, which sets off an alarm. Yeah, it set off an alarm to that level, I believe. Now, there was another part where they're being chased by a bunch of stormtroopers. So at this point, Talia has, Reba left, and Talia's like, she told them to take her to be interrogated or whatever. And Talia takes out, I think there's like 3 or 4, I don't know how many guards there. She like, takes them out. She meets back up with Obi-Wan, which is still crazy to me. You're in this giant base with hundreds of enemy soldiers, yet you can just reconvene at the drop of a hat. I guess maybe she knows the layout. I don't know. But, whatever. To get to this part where there's this hallway, right? It kind of reminded me of Splinter Cell, actually. What was that board? Aquarius, where there's this hallway and there's water. Either Splinter Cell or BioShock, where there's these tunnel hallways and there's windows, and the ocean it's a connecting point, and the ocean is on the outside. So anyway, stormtroopers Obi-Wan shuts the door. They're trying to shoot him through the crack. The window cracks. Leia and Talia run to the other side. Obi-Wan's using the Force. I don't know which hand it was. He's using the Force to, probably was his hand, keep the window from cracking and all the water coming. The stormtroopers get the door open eventually. Obi-Wan lets the water come. He runs, and the door shuts, and the stormtroopers, they're all drowned inside of the hallway. It's cool. My only gripe with that was like, Obi-Wan's running down this hall in the water. I mean, the door shut, but not a single droplet or sprinkle of water came through behind Obi-Wan. Like, I get, yeah, the door can shut, but how close that water was to him, at least a little bit of wetness should have got through. These are nitpicks, though. I'm not really worried about it. All right, so after that, they're at the, it's like an open hangar, I guess, right? Tala, I keep calling it Talia. I'm thinking Talia al Ghul. Tala, Leia, and Obi-Wan are walking. So Obi-Wan has on this hat and like this big trench coat. And Leia is literally in the trench coat. You see 4 set of feet. You see Obi-Wan's feet, you see Leia's little feet, and then you see Tala, and they're walking across just like half of a football field size hangar, and nobody sees that extra set of feet. It's like, bro, you could at least, I guess it's just the show is like poetry of how like it's kind of like, what is that word called? Is it Jubilee, or just like, whatever, like it's an easy sneak, right? So they're sneaking, they almost get to the edge, and then Reba comes and she starts yelling. I forget what she says. I don't know if she said traitor. She said, but she was talking to Tala or something, right? And then I think the other Inquisitors came out too at this point, and they're like at the edge of this hangar thing, and not O'Shea Jackson, but two people flying snow speeders, I believe. I have to look back at it, but I believe they were snow speeders. Two people come, right? Because you know, the Inquisitors are blocking and stormtroopers are getting blown up and stuff. And they land, get in. So they get in the storm, they get in the snow speeder. And then I think Reva picks up like one of those explosive canisters. She throws it, she hits the other snow speeder, and it goes in the water. They get away onto the ship. You see O'Shea Jackson, he's like, where's the homie at? And they looking all sad, you know, because he died. And then, you know, they get away. And then I think the coolest scene from the whole episode is Darth Vader walking down the hallway. And he picks up Reva. You were told the consequences of failure. I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but he said something along the lines of that, right? And, you know, at this point, we all thinking she about to die, right? He's choking her. And it was the most adorable choke ever. She's just like, the way he had her in the air, it was very awkward looking, you know? It was almost like he put her entire body in stasis. It wasn't the usual choke by the neck and them like kind of doing like this. It was just like her whole body, he just had her in the air. And he's choking her, and she's like, I put a tracker on him. And then he brings her down ever so gently, and her little feet touches the ground. And she's like, I put a tracker on the ship. And he's like, what do you say? Something like, you aren't as... He basically gave her a compliment, like, I underestimated your intelligence. I don't know exactly what he said. But we find out that she put a little tracker in Leia's little droid. You know, they were on a ship, and the little eye came on, it was red. So yeah, I just said this episode, it just felt like a bridge to what the final segment is going to be. So obviously we're four episodes in, and there's 6 episodes to this, right? Who knows if we're going to get another season or not, you know? Me personally, when it comes to the main stuff like this, I really don't like for them to mess with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, you have Hayden Christensen back. Hayden Christensen is back right now, and he's actually in Darth Vader's suit. Make a Vader series. Disney, are you listening? Make a series with Darth Vader. Have him hunting down Jedi. Showcase, do some flashbacks of Order 66, the assault on the Jedi Temple. Actually show Hayden Christensen fighting some of the Jedi there, you know, and then show more of the 501st and kind of bridge the gap, like right after episode, episode 3, because there's a lot of room there for you to utilize. I mean, this is around the time when most of the Jedi are still being hunted. So there's going to be more Jedi here that you can use in the Vader series to have him, you know, showcasing him getting used to his suit, getting used to his new dark side powers, and hunting down Jedi in these fresh years of right after episode 3. And you could probably end the Vader series, you know, you could do whatever with the timeline. You can make it go all the way up to A New Hope. I would say don't even make it go up to A New Hope. You could probably, well, Rogue One is right before A New Hope. So I would say you can make it go up to right before Rogue One, you know, because we want to keep the canon intact. Or you don't even have to show that much. You can just show a little bit of what he did in the beginning. Maybe do maybe do the first 5 years or the first 2 or 3 years of when he's Vader and have him hunting down Jedi. Give us new characters, give us new locations, give us Vader working with his clone with the 501st. You know, this will be like, and you kind of bridge. You could kind of bridge the clone troopers and the stormtroopers, like that kind of switch of command between those two eras of troopers. There's a lot of potential there, and you have Hayden Christensen back, so it would be a complete waste to bring him back and he's actually in the suit and not give this man his own series. I honestly think that they're doing this in the background and just haven't told us anything. But if they don't capitalize on this would be a complete waste, you know? If this is what I would do. So I would do the Vader. They already got Ahsoka coming, right? And then hell, think about this. I don't know where Ahsoka is in canon, but you can have Ahsoka and you can have a Vader series, and then you can have them have one more final showdown and maybe have Vader kill Ahsoka. Because I don't know if she's still alive, you know, canon wise, like after after A New Hope and all that stuff. I don't know if she's still alive. So I don't know. But if she does die, that could be, there's so much potential there. I don't know what to actually do with Ahsoka because they got rid of it, like some of his legends, some of his canon now is just confusing. But anyway, my whole point was just like, don't bring Hayden Christensen back and just have him do fucking a couple of episodes of Obi-Wan and then just fucking walk off. Like, utilize him while he's here. And here's the thing, they already fucked up. Like, you had Carrie Fisher back, you had Harrison Ford back, you had Mark Hamill back, and y'all fucked that shit up completely. This kind of makes up just a little bit, if done right, for the fuckery that is all the other movies. Because them legacies are just, they wash down the sink, man. You know, Harrison Ford, he don't want nothing to do with Star Wars no more. Carrie Fisher's no longer with us. And Mark Hamill, bless his soul, you know, he tried, you know, and he protested and he let his opinions be known, and they just pushed him aside, and we got what we got, which, you know, opinions are opinions, but in my opinion, you know, those movies are just, I don't even want to get into that too much. So anyway, back to Kenobi episode 4, like I said, this felt like a bridge to what's going to be the last maybe 2 episodes. So I just wanted to do this real quick review. I didn't want it to be too long. And what I'm probably going to do for the last 2 is just clump them together. So we'll see what happens. So if you like the video, leave a thumbs up. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. You know, leave your comments. Leave your comments down in the section below. You want to share your opinions and talk about it. Yeah, man. So I'll see you all in the next one.